It's good to see you guys. It's good to be back. Excited for this week. A lot of respect for Coach Brown and their team. Was able to watch them play on Saturday and just impressed. Physical, great effort on the team. And you could tell they're striving and fighting for something. And, we got to get in the way of all of that. And at their place, in a tough spot to play. And so excited for that opportunity. Take any questions you guys got.
Dave, speaking of getting in the way, specifically defensively, what are the areas that you still would like to see y'all improve?
I think we got to play the pass better. We have to play when the ball's in the air. We have to play that better. I think when we're playing zones, we got to communicate and execute those zone responsibilities better. I'd say that now. We haven't really faced a bunch of running teams. I think early in the season, maybe some teams tried to run it on us. We're going to play a team that can run and throw it. And so, I don't know, we'll see what we say next week, But I think throw game-wise, we have to improve playing the ball when it's in the air. I think that's been something that has not improved since the beginning of the year.
Sawyer was in a boot after the TCU game. What was his injury, and will he be affected at all?
No, he's great. Yeah, practice today was running around. He's 100%.
Dave, on that note, anybody that would be able to come back this week, or how's your health coming off the bye week?
Let's see. I think, Sawyer's back. We were holding. Micah Gifford is still going to be day-to-day. I hope to get Micah back. I don't know if we're going to be able to have him. And then we're holding a couple guys out that were just kind of rehabbing or working through just the normal bumps and bruises that you have, like KT and a couple other guys like that. But I feel that we'll be as healthy as we've been going into this one.
Some of the missed tackles, how do you address that?
I think that's got to be where your help is. You play to your help. I think also that's got to be something to where, in the moment, you've got your cleats in the ground. You're solidified in what your assignment is, and you play fast to it. I think, we've gone from basically a formation defense to a field defense to try to get cleats in the ground. I think we're still getting a fair amount of shifts and motions that are getting guys' eyes all over the place. So we've got to be able to settle that down, to settle down the tackling.
2 bye weeks is a little bit unusual. What's the benefit of having one here late in the year?
I think everyone gets refreshed with that. I thought, today's practice, you can kind of feel the energy of it. I think there's always a strain when you're under the gun, and so I think kind of having a chance to breathe is probably good. That gives you a chance to, look at the stuff you're doing good, you're not doing good, and there's a bunch of tape nowadays. I remember when you used to be able to make a cut up and send it to someone, a VHS tape, or you would send out a cut. You would call their video coordinator, hey, we're going to send a cut to you. And now it's so accessible everywhere, and you can watch, all the games that were played whatever days ago. You can watch it. And now I saw this on TV, I'm going to look at this. And so there's, I think that just elevates the schematics in the game. That's the world we're in now, and so you could do some of that too. And so I think there's ways it can help you. I think you've got to be intentional about those ways. Otherwise, I think it can hurt you because you can kind of just sit back and take it as it comes.
Dave, is there anything you can take, it was a few games ago now, but out of the game y'all had in Lubbock, of going into a hostile environment that you can take to Morgantown?
The last couple of times West Virginia have been really close, tight games. They're in a lot of ways similar to us in that they're a gritty team, they're a physical team. They've got players that love ball, you could tell there's a passion, the care factor is really strong. I think their coaches put them in a position to be successful. I think whenever I watch them, I can really see that they do a good amount of scouting, and they pay attention to all the details that are out there, and so I have a lot of respect for them in that manner. Yeah, it's going to be us versus, the state of West Virginia. So, I mean, we're going to have to be able to be locked into what we got and to what our prescription is, and stay with that through the momentum swings that are surely going to come there. And so I think these whether it's Colorado or Tech, those games will put us in a position to kind of get this one. There hasn't been a lot of getting it at their spot, so we're going to try to do that.
If you had a chance to kind of self-scout during the bye week, what are some of the biggest differences that stand out? Maybe these last 3 games where y'all been really successful as opposed to the beginning of the season.
We're running the ball. That's be number one. I think 2, the throw games, being more explosive with the, prior, I think, to these last 3 games, there was explosives, and then really that was kind of it, and then the run game came and kind of gave a solid ground for those explosives to happen probably even more often, And then I think once you have all that, confidence just grows and everything. And I think, defensively, our ability to play 4 quarters all the way is something that we're still aiming to do. I think special teams wise, the big play ability is shown, and that they can definitely change a game and alter games in ways if momentum's slipping one way. The special teams can rise to the occasion. So I think there's confidence on that side too. And so I think those things have shown.
Dave, does Bryson just have maybe even a different confidence level, just the way he's played the last 3 weeks, I guess?
I think so. I think when he gets hit, he feels good. I think when he delivers hits, he feels better. I think he looks for those contacts, and I think the O-line takes. We were talking, I think, a couple weeks ago about we had a guy previously that was like that would go look for contact, and then our sideline would be energized because of it. I think very similar with Bryson, and so I think, and he recognizes that, and so that's one side plays off the other with all of it, and I think he adds physicality to our team when he's looking for contact and finishing contact.
Dave, with Michael Trigg, what kind of potential does he have in this offense for the last 3 games?
Really strong one. He has a mismatch. I mean, you put a linebacker on there, it's tough. You put a safety or a DB on there, the push-offs and everything, and just he body you up and all of it. So it's a mismatch there. He's fast too. The physicality of it. He's so long that what looks like just a glancing blow is just sent guys flying. Sometime to our disadvantage. But I think it's a big mismatch, and I think, as the season's gone on, he's gotten more and more locked in to what his job description is and what the assignments and the roles are, and his confidence has grown with his mastery of that. I think there's total trust between him and Sawyer and Spav and the whole group, and so he can really flourish. I think he has. I think it's really just kind of the start for him, though.
When you were when you were looking at Keaton Thomas coming out of junior college, what stood out about him on the film then?
Energy. There's at times there can be almost a frantic energy. I think we want to go from A to B, and he will get all worked up and almost like a spinning top, and it's just like you have to concentrate and go this way. And so I think that's a good fight to have. I think you want the energy, and you want the care factor, and you want, he injured his shoulder working out on his own against the sleds out here on his own time, and so he's like, KT, man, just chill, bro. Just chill out, man, And so I think that's good when you have to say that to somebody. And so I think he exemplifies kind of the eagerness and the want to and the fight and all those things. And so, to have him out in front of our team that way is a fitting thing.
To that point, do you think he's improved in that area since the beginning?
He
of the
has.
year?
He's settled down. I think what's probably hurt him is he has a spatula on one hand, and I think the tackling. I think the physicality at the point of attack. It's crazy that this game can push you, and can challenge you in so many ways. But to take on a block and to tackle when you really have one hand, he's doing it right now in his own unique way. I think some of his physicality is affected by that, but he's finding a way to do it and still be productive. He had a bunch of tackles this last game, and I'm impressed. It takes for someone to do that, right? Their care factor and their attention to detail has to be through the roof, and that's him.
Is there a significant difference in the two quarterbacks, and how do you prepare for them?
Yeah, I think the guy that was just here recently, these last couple of games, I think there's more of a sit back in the pocket and throw it with him. I think you could just sense it off of watching film. There's more, they're comfortable in that space with him. Less quarterback run. The other quarterback, the guy that started, more quarterback run, less drop back pass, more move the pocket. And so I think with the guy that was in this last one, kind of sit back there, run, and sit back there, throw it. With the guy that started, move him around a lot. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of how that is moving forward.
Do you prepare for both? Or?
You have to, yeah. Yeah, the quarterback run, I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, we played Wildcat with TCU, and just, you're outnumbered when that's the case. And when they the runs that he's been running, they outnumber you. So you have to find ways to change the math and get the numbers back in your advantage. So you have to spend time with that. But I mean, when they're running the ball effectively and they get everybody down and they throw it deep, I think that's really their ID, and I think that's who they want to be.
You touched on some of it right there, but what are some of the biggest challenges that this West Virginia team kind of poses?
I think they believe. I think they care a lot, and I think they're all bought in, and I think they believe that they're going to win, and then they're playing in a tough spot to play. So I think those things, yeah.
When you look at the Big 12 and it's just, massive teams kind of fighting for, everybody's still alive. Like, is that a positive? Do you talk to the team about that, where it's like, things fall our way, we could still achieve some really big things? How much do you discuss that with the team?
Not a lot. The mountains and the stairs and all that, to maybe some dismay, I still show that, and it's like, this is the step we got to take, right? And so consistency for us, right, regardless of praise or criticism, right, our effort and our attention to detail is the same, right? And it's a level of mastery we're trying to get to, and regardless of kind of the circumstance or the point of the game and any of those things is what we're trying to get to. I think to kind of do stuff, to kind of show people stuff, I think that's one level of all of it. But to do it, whether it's raining or sun shining or storming or whatever, is a whole other one. And so we're trying to get to that phase of it. At the weak feel, throughout these last couple of weeks with the wins have been just kind of businesslike, kind of focused. I felt that today too, coming back, and sometimes in the past, coming off a bye when you've been out for a couple of days, to kind of be back, you don't have that feeling, but it was very much that feeling. So it feels good.
Dave, you touched on health earlier. What's the status of Dom Richardson?
Yeah, Dom is off the team. Yeah, Dom, he wanted to, I think, running back wise, we've had some good production there, and the rotation probably wasn't what he wanted. And so I think he's got a year and he wants to be able to use it. And so I wish Dom the best, and I want to be able to see him get healthy, number one, and then find a spot to where he can, achieve his goals and play a little bit more than he was playing here.
Dave, was there anything in particular that clicked with the offensive line? Like you said, y'all run the ball so well the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think there've been some changes in personnel and some moving pieces, and I think that was helpful. And that was after already moving some pieces around. And then I think, getting running backs healthy, I think was also helpful. And that was kind of a perfect storm because a lot of those things happened at the same time. And then I think when we faced some teams that were kind of blitz-heavy teams, not kind of anchor down and kind of get big and play the gaps. I think they gave us a crack or a crevice to kind of make some yards and runs and stuff. And then I think once we did that, then I thought there's all this confidence that came. And it was like, man, this is us. We can do this. And then since then, it's just been multiplying, And so I think it's at the point now to where it's like, we believe we can do this, and we're going to out-physical you and run you. And, it's been the same guys all along, but the belief that wasn't there is fully now there. And so we'll be tested versus really good West Virginia front, by the way. And I think that's going to really be the tell of the game. I think they're pretty stout. They've got good interior people. I think that's their best people. I think defensively they're a talented team, but I think their front seven is really talented and be the best front seven we've played in the last couple weeks.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, thank you guys.